UNISA Radio.
The African Voice. It's all about you.
The discussion that we are going to be having aims to provide practical tools and encourage our listeners to prioritize their health and seek support when needed. And joining us for this conversation is going to be Molatelo Sefoloshi. Did I say that right?
Yes.
The managing director at Molatelo Wellness, clinical social worker and mental health and wellness specialist. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So if you could please just introduce yourself to us and our listeners.
All right. I think you actually received me very well. My name is Molatelo Sefoloshi. I am a clinical social worker by profession, a mental health and wellness specialist, and obviously I did found my company, which is Molatelo Wellness. I'm a managing director there.
And to start us off, what exactly is holistic wellness and why is it so important?
Sure. That's a very deep question. And I'm happy that UNISA Radio station invited me on this important topic because we usually when we speak about mental health, we're thinking a therapist and it ends there. So holistic wellness means looking at the whole person, not only the body.
Mm-hmm.
It includes physical health, mental health, emotional well-being, your social support, spiritual well-being, financial well-being, occupational wellness, even the safe space or support structure that one can belong from. So it's the whole.
Yes.
Yes.
And, you know, many people focus on physical health. What other aspects of wellness should people be actually paying attention to?
Sure. Physical health, it's very important. We all want to stay fit and be able to live long. But as I said, holistic wellness is whole. You need to also be in tune with your mental well-being, understanding how you're feeling, what are your triggers, what are your coping mechanisms, so as an individual, it is very important to stay in touch with yourself and understanding yourself before you can actually reach out to anyone. I think, that's where it starts.
And with that being said, what would you say are some of the biggest stresses that are affecting most South Africans today?
Some of the biggest stresses, it obviously includes unemployment. We do know that we are, I think, 32%, 32.7% unemployment rate, which I think it's only in the first quarter. So it hasn't been counted for the whole year. So unemployment, job security, financial pressures, debt, high cost of living, family responsibilities, relationships, imjolo, because, some really don't take it easy. Academic pressures, I'm here, I can only imagine how does it feel to actually have been to being a student at any institution without having to isolate it to UNISA. And your only parent, all she could do was to just find a registration fee. And then you are there expected to pass your exams, but you don't know what you're going to eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
You are there to concentrate, but, your landlord is busy questioning you, when are you going to pay your rent? So those are the most pressures or stresses that, many people currently are actually having challenges with. And when we say holistic, you see, it's everything. So one can go to gym and say, I don't have, but as long as you don't have support or any financial structure, you're not going to be able to win over your stress.
And as we speak about stress, we do know that there is something that can be considered healthy stress, right? How can you actually differentiate between healthy, normal stress and stress that is actually really bad for you?
Sure. Stress is stress, but I'm going to try and be as simple as we can. Healthy stress is when you have money in your account, your life challenges are there but are not overwhelming. You do know that there's that and that, but you're able to actually manage it. But unhealthy stress is when, even when you go to a therapist, you don't understand who you are. You can't even articulate yourself to a therapist what you want. And it becomes difficult then, because then it becomes a clinical depression where you might actually need to see beyond a therapist to seeing a mental health doctor, which is a psychiatrist. So once it gets there, which I think many, with the pressures and the challenges that we spoke about, many people currently are going through that journey. And it is hard, because once it gets there, then they'll diagnose you. You're going to be on medication because you do not actually have the tools and necessary coping mechanisms to manage your stress. But healthy, you can still get up and face your challenges, and you'll still be fine.
And what would you say are some practical stress management techniques that anyone can start using before you get to that point that you mentioned?
I mentioned that I'm so happy that I'm invited for holistic wellness. We are about, check in with yourself. And when you do not understand yourself anymore, find support. And support, it's not usually professional, because many people are scared of being vulnerable and undress themselves in front of a stranger. So it starts with a friend, it starts with a colleague, a mentor, a teacher, somebody who pays attention. Once you just speak out, because the minute you start speaking out, then you get to understand that it's not that bad. Many people do struggle with challenges. It's just that how do you navigate it? And how you navigate it, it's how you actually become stronger. So those coping mechanisms could be speaking to someone. If you're not good at speaking to someone, yes, go to the gym. Research about how you're feeling. There's internet. I think everyone right now is on TikTok, is on internet. And if you don't have that, again, support structure is very important. If it's finances, go to your bank. Speak to someone about, hi guys, I'm struggling to pay my bond. I'm not able to commit to my debts. Where do I even begin? They'll direct you. Because people, when it gets to that point, they really think it's the end of it. And honestly, if you ask all the entrepreneurs, if you ask all the hardworking people, we all go through a difficult journey. It's just how you navigate it, who support you, and who you become when you're at the end of it.
I like that you mentioned the internet, because now I want to ask about social media. We all know that social media does affect how people view themselves.
Yes.
Especially it can contribute to your mental health and your well-being, as well as your societal standing. Like you can end up in debt trying to manage an image that you can't sustain. So what impact does this have on a person's overall well-being?
Yeah. Social media can make you, and it can also break you. It depends which algorithm do you follow. If you follow something that you know that it's beyond what you for, meaning that you are looking at high lifestyle, girls that have money and popping champagnes, and you don't know how they actually got there, and you're probably thinking, I'm left behind, they've got apartments. You do not know how are they actually getting there. and yet you're there pressurizing yourself and thinking, oh, I'm behind. So when I say it can make you, I use social media for cooking, and I know I cook very well.
Okay.
I use social media. I'm a gym fanatic. Most of my exercises, beyond my personal trainer, I get my exercises there. My motivation, how I start my day. There are people that have gone through these journeys. There are books that will actually, if you go to TikTok right now and say, TikTok, this and this and that. How do I cook? It will guide you. So it depends, who do you follow? But the question is, let's not be hard on those that follow that. Is for you to arrive to a space where you feel healthy and feel that you can follow the right things, it's where it starts. Not everyone. It's easy, just see beyond that mountain. It's a journey.
No, I actually want to second that. We're just going to go into our news headlines.
All right.
News headlines. Headlines on UNISA Radio.
Headlines at 12:30. Cape Town Port ranked the world's worst performer as Durban shows major improvement. Whereas sentencing delayed again as court warns against further postponements. Starmer condemns Russian frigate after warning shots incident with Britain yacht. More details at the top of the hour.
Let's get interactive on UNISA Radio.
So we're still having a conversation with Molatelo Sefoloshi, the managing director at Molatelo Wellness. We're speaking all things holistic wellness, stress management, and the emotional impact of infertility. And we were talking about social media, and you mentioned that it all depends on the content that you consume.
You follow. Yes.
Yes. So I'm a big person on self-care.
Beautiful.
And I follow self-care content. And I want to know from you, how important is self-care, and what does healthy self-care actually look like?
Sure. Many people think self-care, it's getting up and taking a shower, putting that lip gloss, looking good, smelling good. No. Self-care is deeper than that. Self-care is understanding what you're eating. And what you're eating, it's not only your diet. It's also sometimes the people that you are surrounded with. Your partner, your classmate, your colleagues. And if those people are toxic, even if you can smell good, even if you can look good, you wake up in such environment that we don't call it self-care, because you are going to fall apart while you smell good, while you look stunning. And boundaries are very important to understand that, are these people for me? And it's very important to know that as you age, you have to realize that it's no longer about what people are saying. It's about you. What do you want? What makes you happy? And those are the things that define self-care. Getting up and having a purpose. How you start your day and how you finish it. How does your diary looks like? Whether you're unemployed or not. Talk about unemployment. Have a structure when you get up. What do you intend to do with your life? Have you reached your goals? How far are you supposed to go? And where? What are you measuring them? Where are you? That for me, it's self-love. And one can say, oh, I thought it's looking good. No, it's deeper than that.
And would you say that romanticizing your life also falls in line with self-care?
I think that's a cherry on top. I think it's a cherry on top. Obviously, you can't neglect yourself. When you look good, when you feel good,
yes,
your skin will be defined by how you feel. But when you look miserable, even if you can put a makeup on, people will see beyond that foundation.
So your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, everything in one is important.
Extremely important. Your workplace, you know, let's not even forget that. Many people leave their home happy and they get these managers that are horrible to them, that, project how they feel. You know, there's a say that had people had others, and people that are mostly negative, jumpy, angry, short-tempered, it's a sign of something there.
And we do know that June is also Infertility Awareness Month. So from a mental health perspective, how can infertility affect individuals and couples emotionally?
Sure. I'm sure you do know that I'm not a medical expert, but I will speak from the mental health and well-being. And obviously, fertility is driven by a whole lot of things: diet, food, health, genetics, and all that. But sometimes we forget the contributors of that could actually be stress. Remember the whole that we spoke about, your diet, your fitness, you know, that can actually affect your fertility. And sometimes even if it's not that, support structure. I think in 2026, unlike a decade ago, this time of where we are now, there's a solution to everything. To people that are struggling to conceive, it's not the end of the world. Research what is your problem. Understand before the doctor knows. When you go to the doctor, obviously with the little information that you have, you'll tell the doctor. They'll build mechanisms or support structure for you. Try this, try that. And there's IVF, there's so much that one can lean on when they're struggling to fall pregnant.
Why do you think infertility is such a difficult topic for many people to talk about openly?
Sometimes, remember, it's not only women, and society judges women when there's no child conceived at home. They also don't look at the possibility of men being the reason why the woman is not falling pregnant. And the reason why, especially men, don't speak up, it's the people will call them names, you know. Society will call them names. I mean, there's words, kasepedi, they'll say moba. Is that the right way? The person that is struggling to conceive. Such words are the one that breaks you to even reach out for help. But like I said, when you are in tune with yourself and understanding yourself and seek for the right guidance from doctors, people that have gone through the journey. Like I said, we spoke social media. There's a solution. The one thing that I can say is there's a solution to any problem. And if it gets to a point where they say, unfortunately, you can't carry a child. And then I'm going to make an example with most of the famous celebrities like Gabrielle Union. She conceived she had a child when she was in her late 40s, if not 50. And she's happy. It's a child.
Yeah.
There's a solution to everything.
And like you said, people in society do tend to put stigmas on women who can't conceive. How can friends and family members and these communities actually do better to support people who are facing infertility challenges?
That's a difficult one. Expectations are the one that hurts. And if I'm going to say to people that are struggling, go back to the community, depends which community do you belong to. It's the community that is knowledgeable. Is it the community that is ignorant? Is it the community that is judgmental? You're not going to get your answers from a community that does not understand who you are and what you're going through. Most of the time they'll judge you. So the best way is understand your journey and educate the community to understand you and what you're dealing with.
And what message would you like to leave with our listeners about prioritizing their wellness and seeking help when needed?
The message I will leave to all the listeners in South Africa is that learn to love yourself. Don't expect love from other people. Self-love is very important. If you're able to love yourself, you are actually able to differentiate between the toxic love and the real love. But if you are dependent on validation from others, unfortunately you're not going to survive. So love yourself, understand who you are, what do you want. When you feel sick, go to the doctor. Holistic wellness, stay in check with yourself. Do you like your weight, your diet, your surrounding, and start making changes.
And finally, for our listeners who would like to support or learn more about your work or access the services by Molatelo Wellness, where can they reach you?
Okay. We are almost everywhere on social media. Professionally, we are on LinkedIn. You can search Molatelo Wellness. We also have Instagram, Molatelo Wellness, Facebook, Molatelo Wellness. We also have WhatsApp number. If you go to our website will guide you to all the services that we provide, which is www.molatelowellness.co.za.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
UNISA Radio. The African Voice. It's all about you.